Howdy folks, welcome back to another episode of the Reselling Niche Podcast, What's Sold video. This is for the last week of April 2021, and let's get straight into it. Okay, starting off with the first item I have. This is from an item bag that I got. It's a lot that I got from the thrift store. I don't know, 50, 60 of them. I've had this in my previous What's Sold videos. It's a Walt Disney Roger Rabbit Baby Herman, like tiny little PVC figure. It's like 1.5 inches, 2 inches tops, weighs 4 ounces max. And this thing went for, oh goodness, I've already lost the price. Let me get back down there again. This one went for $16.29. And out the door. So I was happy with that sale. It was something that, like I said, I've got a bunch of these things. So it will sit for a while. If you find these vintage Walt Disney PVC or Warner Brothers type PVC stuff, pick them up. Expect to let them sit though for a while. Okay, next up, this is from an lot that I bought probably about 2 months ago. It's the Last Express PC adventure game on CD, and I bought this for $1. Gone through a couple of these already in previous What's Sold videos. This one sold for $18.86. It was used, but it looked relatively complete to me, but happy to see it go. Pretty much every single one of these $1 PC games that I picked up have sold. These big box ones. So if you get these ones, these vintage late 90s, early 2000s big box PC games, pick them up, they'll move. Okay, next up is just a basic hat. This is a California Republic snapback. I picked up these at a gas station years ago. I want to say 2 years ago. I picked up like 20 of them. They were $1 a piece, and I said, you know, what would you take if I took one of every one? And he had like 20 different colors. And so I got them for 50 cents a piece. And this sold for $16.10, including tax and shipping. And funny thing about this is one of the pictures that I actually omitted was the best one of all. There's a really cool design on the inside of the back, which I didn't list in the listing, but it's still sold. Anyways, moving on. This is a Converse Dr. J All-Star. It's a retro, it's not a vintage tank top. I'm selling a lot of tank tops because the weather getting a little bit warmer. Sold for $33.85. It was not vintage, like I said, but any mention of, you know, I shouldn't say vintage athletes, but, you know, athletes from back in the day like Dr. J do well. You know, Bo Jackson, obviously Jordan. So look out for that, especially with the warmer weather. This stuff is moving. All right, next up, something I sell a lot of. This was not a cutoff, but this is a kind of workout type shirt. It was, I'm not even sure what this is, to be honest. I call it a workout shirt. I don't think it was. This is Gitano Tiffany's Cabaret, and it basically has 3 kind of torsos of women on the front of it. And I wasn't sure how to list this. So I just kind of wrote the entire tag out on the front. This sold for $41.41. Definitely was vintage just based on the tag. And it's just kind of one of those things that I just typed everything that I saw and it sold. So I'm happy to see that one go. All right, this next one is something I pick up from time to time. It's a Playmobil Pirates Blackbeards ship. It was not complete. It was missing several parts. But what I do like about Playmobil is obviously it's similar to Lego in the sense that you can list the picture and then I list it and I'll say something like, when this is shipped to you, it may not be in the exact form that it is in the pictures, because obviously I'm going to break it apart to minimize shipping costs. Like if you can see that the mast or whatever you call it, not the mast, but what holds up the mast there would be an extra, 12 inches in the wrong direction. So I was able to take those off. I take pictures of that before I send it to them though, so they know that, oh, it wasn't broken in shipping or something like that. But this sold for $56.11. And I got this for $4.99. I bought a lot of Playmobil stuff, just so you know, it doesn't all fly off the shelf. It doesn't, definitely doesn't sell like as fast as Lego does, especially vintage Lego. So make sure you do some comps, check the comps before you list stuff like that. All right, next up, this is a Miller Lite genuine draft. I guess it was this, wasn't sure how to list this all. I listed it as advertising swag. It was a hoodie, a very thin hoodie, the type of thing like if you walk around in bars, maybe they'll have it hanging on the wall and you can buy it. This sold for $33.30. So anything beer related, alcohol related, not just the clothing, but like the bottle swings, bottle holders, champagne like trays, all that kind of stuff does well. So if you see that, pick it up for a reasonable price. I don't even know what I picked this up for, but $33.30 out the door. I'm happy with that. Okay, this is a basic G.I. Joe figure, Joe Mercer. I have like 5 or 6 of these. I keep picking up for like $1. This sold for $16.02. It was loose hinges, excuse me, loose elbows and legs, no accessories, but it will. I just keep picking it up and I keep reusing the same listing. So the more times you use that listing, the better it will sell because you kind of get eBay's authority on that listing. So I have a lot of action figures that I do this with. If you can pick them up in bulk, even if it's the same one, obviously you want to double check the pictures because I've made the mistake in the past of listing just because it was the same item. The actual figure that I had sold didn't look the same and the person complained. They actually wanted the one that was exactly pictured. So make sure you change that first picture at least and let them know that, it may not, or, you could let them know that it may not look exactly like the item, but you run the risk of a return. But anyway, $16.02 out the door, maybe about $1 into this thing. All right, next up is another figure. I overpaid for this one. It's a Hasbro Mortal Kombat figure, Smoke. This, I probably could have got more for, and I probably should have paid less for it. I paid about $20 for this, and I've been trying to get rid of it for like a year. The movie just came out, the new Mortal Kombat movie, I believe. So it sold right away, and I hadn't changed the listing. I had it listed for, I think, 75 bucks or 99 bucks, something like that. And it sold for $68 out the door. But if I had been smart, I would have upgraded the listing, changed it a little bit, and it probably would have gone for more, especially with the movie coming out. So pay attention to your listings, unlike me. But still happy to see it go because, like I said, I overpaid for this one. I don't know why I paid 20 bucks for it, but oh well. All right, next up, if you ever see How to Train Your Dragon or stuff for Disney cars, Disney planes, pick it up. This stuff always sells for me. This was a meat lug Gronkle Spin Master figure. It was not complete. It was missing some of the parts, I believe. Sold for $40.85. I picked this up for, I think, $1.99. I pick up How to Train Your Dragon stuff all the time, and it nearly always sells. So even if it's loose, even though it's not that old, it will move. So list it. If you find it at Thrift, list it. All right, next up, this is a vintage Barbie raincoats. It was, I could tell from the tag it was vintage. I had this listed for a long time. I have so much of this doll action figure accessory type stuff. Sold for $28.38, including tax and shipping. I have pennies into this. I have boxes and boxes of unlisted stuff, to be honest, that I need to get to. But anytime it has the tags on it with these doll accessories, the Barbie tag, the Hasbro tag, the Mattel tag, any of that stuff, list it and zoom in on those tags, and people can tell. Just be careful. Some of the Barbie stuff, some of the Hasbro stuff, they kind of reuse some of it. They redo some of it, especially the dolls for Barbie. So stuff in the 90s may look like stuff in the 60s and the 50s. So be careful about that. All right, this next one was actually a generic. I couldn't even tell if this was vintage or not. Saved by the Bell. I love Kelly Kapowski 1980s t-shirt. Sold for $35.97. If you get this kind of stuff, I always pick it up for like $1. I had this was, I believe, $1 into this. Anything like that retro, people are gonna pick it up just because of the nostalgia factor. And I have a couple other ones with Saved by the Bell characters on it. So $35.97 out the door. All right, next up, this was what I thought was just a regular Nike shirt. When I looked closely, it was actually a jersey. So this sold for $38.21. Nike Dry Fit USA Soccer jersey. Not very old, a few years old. I think maybe 2016 or something like that. 2018 maybe. But this kind of stuff sells. I love selling US men's and US women's soccer type stuff. Usually vintage for that is the 90s if you can get it. So any US or men's or women's soccer stuff, sell it. Pick it up if you can get it for cheap. All right, this was actually my own shirt. I was telling to buy this, and this is my shirt from like, I don't know, junior high or high school. So it was from the 90s. I've never heard of this brand, Latique, but it sold for $40.98. And it shows you what I used to wear in junior high or / high school, I guess. But happy to see that go for a good price. So that one's definitely been there forever. All right, next up, this Yoda figure was part of the Star Wars lot that I picked up months back. I'm still selling figures from it. This sold for $53.81. Now this would have sold for a lot more. Two things. One, if it was complete, it had some accessories, but it was missing there's like a snake thing that goes around the neck. Didn't have that. Also, on the upper lip, it had like a black paint mark or a Sharpie mark, which I could not get out. So I ended up, obviously you have to disclose that. So I took pictures of it, and that kind of hindered, because I had so many people asking me questions from the second I listed this. And that's why it couldn't have sold for more. But happy to see it go, $53.81. It probably have about 50 cents to $1 into this one. All right, this is a shirt, basic Patagonia shirt. I sell a lot of these, but the reason I like this one is it had so many different brands on it. Patagonia, so I think it says Ocean Pursuits, Yellowfin, Garmin, Yamaha. This sold almost immediately, within maybe, I think, 24 to 48 hours. So not quite almost immediately. $49.17. I had about $1.99 into this. If you see these Patagonia, if it's with anything else, like if it has another logo on it, it will still sell. So I'm happy to see that go for a good price. All right, next up, this is Discworld 2. It was another $1 big box PC game that I picked up. Sold for $108.23. That was including tax and shipping. But when I looked this one up, this is probably the most expensive one I'm gonna sell out of that lot. So I was happy to see this go for the full price. I think I had it listed at $99.99, so I went for that plus tax and shipping. Now this was from a lot that I've listed and I've had in my what sold videos before. Another vintage kind of D&D metal figure. This sold for $24.84. It was this kind of a pewter dragon figure, has a little crystal on it. And I have so many of these, but I sell them kind of drip, drip, drip sales, as I like to say. And happy to see it go for $24.84. All right, next up, I bought a lot of magnets / badges, fridge decor. This sold for $16.75. I don't even know what I paid. I think if I broke it down for the lot, it was about 40 to 50 cents a piece for each magnet. I've sold probably 4 or 5 of them already. All right, let's skip a few of these. All right, next up, this is another G.I. Joe figure, sold for $22.80, and it was from 1991. Like I said, I sell these a lot. Pick them up for less than $3, preferably at 99 cents to $1.99. If it's a little bit better figure, up to $2.99. But be careful because these will sit. All right, let's skip a few more. All right, last one for today. This is just going back to my clothing. Is a Nike Jason Kidd New Jersey Nets throwback jersey. It's not vintage, but it's just throwback 1980. It was a big size, 3XL. So for $33.24, I took an offer on this. It's been listed for a while, so I wanted to let it go. Could have probably got more for this, but I had about $1 into this, and it's been sitting for a while. So I said, you know, why not? $33.24 out the door. I'm happy with that. So that's all I have for today. If you like these, please check out our previous What Sold videos. I do a morning just list show with my buddy Leroy from Blood, Sweat, and Sell on YouTube. And we just list, talk, and do a little chit chat. So if you'd like to check us out on YouTube Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But until the next one, thank you so much for staying tuned. Have a good one.
Thanks for listening to the Reseller Niche Podcast. Show notes and social media links are located at resellerniche.com. Please comment, rate, and subscribe to us on iTunes or YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts.